What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at Revolver's new archetype coming out in Circuit Break. These are the Vullet Dragons, and I've actually looked over these cards. I like them a lot. I like the direction that Konami is going in with this archetype, and I just like their design and their playstyle as far as I understand it. They actually remind me a lot of Scraps, and not just in appearance, because I still can't get over the fact that these guys are actually dragons. I mean, just look at this damn card. It does not look like a dragon at all. It reminds me, again, of something like Blowback Dragon or Barrel Dragon or like the Scrap Monsters. It clearly looks like these guys should be machines. So in artwork alone, these do remind me of Scraps, but also in the play style of them, it seems that they revolve around kind of blowing up themselves and then potentially blowing up cards on your opponent's side of the field, and at the same time kind of replacing themselves with other monsters. So a very unique and interesting archetype, and I like Scraps. I thought that Scraps were kind of underused, and I think the reason Scraps fell off is because their release set, which was a Duelist Revolution, that was basically their best set, and all their support after that was really just not all that good. Like Atomic, Scrap Dragon, Twin, like they never really topped the original Scrap Dragon, and that's kind of like the opposite of decks like Teller Knights, where the Exige just got better and better, and like obviously Trivair was better than like Deltaros, and you know Ptolemaeus was so broken they had to fucking ban it. So anyways, let's go ahead and look at this archetype. There are 5 new cards to talk about. Obviously, we've already discussed the Link Monster, the Vullet Dragon, which is actually pretty damn spicy. It's got a built-in snatch steal that happens when you attack, and it can't be targeted by opponent's monster effects. And then it has another effect that targets monsters, cuts them down 500 attack and defense, and your opponent cannot respond to that. So he's got some really good effects to him. So let's go ahead and look at this archetype. This is the Magna Vullet Dragon. It is a level 4, 1800 attack, 1200 defense, Dark Dragon. The entire archetype is dark, by the way. I think that's because Revolver is a bad guy on the anime. That would be my best guess. Effect number 1. When a Link Monster's effect that targets this card on the field is activated, you can destroy this card, send 1 monster on the field to the graveyard. This is a really good effect. Obviously, it's super specific, and it does work really well with the Vullet Dragon. I think Konami wants you to get the boss monster out and then just have these monsters be on the field, and it kind of creates like a little bit of a soft lock to where obviously you can activate at any time during either player's turn your effect. You can target your own guys. Your opponent cannot strike you. They can't respond to it. You blow your guys up, and then you also get to blow up a card on your opponent's side of the field. And what's cool about this is even if your opponent is dumb enough to target this, you can blow it up and then you can just kill their Link Monster, and your effect does not actually target. It says send 1 monster on the field to the grave. So not only does it not destroy, so it gets around like Stardust Dragon, but it doesn't target as well, so it can get around like other cards on the field. It can get around like Magic Specters. And it says during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon 1 Vullet monster from your deck except itself. Every single one of the monsters in this archetype, except obviously the boss monster, they all have this built-in effect. I love this because it basically makes them all float. Unless you kaiju them or you castel them, if you basically run them over or you destroy them with a Regeki or something, they will replace themselves during the end phase. This is so good. Let's look at the second monster. And by the way, I'm thinking that Supply Squad should be really good in this archetype. This is the Auto Vullet Dragon. It's a Dark Dragon, level 3, 1600 attack, 1000 defense. You can all the effects are hard once per turn. When a Link Monster's effect that targets this card on the field is activated, you can destroy this card, then send 1 spell and trap card on the field to the graveyard. So this is basically the same thing as the first guy, the Magna Dragon. It just, you know, it goes after back row instead of actually going after monsters. And again, this does not actually target, which is really good because if your opponent happens to have something like a Twin Twister, they won't be able to use it because obviously you get rid of their card at resolution. So really good. I like the fact that you don't have to rely on your monsters to target your Vullet Dragons. If your opponent is dumb enough to target them, then obviously you can escape that targeting by blowing your Vullet Dragon up and basically just, you know, basically messing up your opponent. They won't really be able to respond because these are non-targeting effects. And then you replace your guy during the end phase anyway, so it's like you didn't lose anything. The last one is the Vullet or the Ants Vullet Dragon. I think this is probably the worst one of the three. By the way, I think it's a little weird that Konami is making all these Link archetypes with, they're making all the monsters have different levels. They're doing this with Stargrills and Gokis. I know why they're doing it. They're doing it so that you can't exceed easily in these fucking decks. Konami does not want you being able to use Xyz and Links. They want you playing Link monsters, and they don't want you making, you know, splashing in Norden, which will probably be banned by the time these come out. They don't want you playing a bunch of Xyz in all of these decks. This guy has 0 attack because he's level 1, 2200 defense, so he's got a big butt. And his effect is when a Link monster's effect targets this card on the field, you can blow this card up, then you can select one monster on the field, that monster can't attack, and then its effect is negated if it has an effect. So it basically becomes a Fiendish Chain that doesn't target. Again, I think the first two are much better, but with only 3 monsters in the, you know, core deck, I think you pretty much have to run all of them so far. And it's just good because they all replace themselves. Even if your opponent just runs them over in battle, doesn't really matter because during the end phase you just summon another copy. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of like a better version of TG essentially. And let's look at the spells. The spells, in my opinion, are what make me think that this deck has the potential to be competitive because there's just so much searchability and so much floatability. And I think that Supply Squad is going to work really well in this deck, especially if you're able to get the Revolver Dragon on the field and you're able to blow your cards up and also blow up cards on your opponent's side of the field and draw cards at the same time. So the first one is the Quick Play. Actually, they're both Quick Play, which is even better. Like if every spell in this deck is going to be Quick Play, like sign me the fuck up right now. This is Quick Revolve. It's a quick play spell. It says summon 1 Vullet monster from your deck. It cannot attack and it's destroyed during the end phase. So this is obviously so good for so many reasons. Yeah, the monster can't attack, but obviously you can still Link summon with it. You can still Xyz summon with it. You can still use it to block an attack. And the final thing is, even if your opponent doesn't attack it for some reason, it doesn't matter. It's destroyed during the end phase, which means it's going to replace itself anyways. And like, this is an automatic 3. This is like an amazing card. Like, I get to summon a monster for free, and even if that monster dies, it replaces itself anyways. It can just block attacks and I can Link with it. Like, hell yeah, sign me up. And the second one is even better. This is amazing. This is Squib Draw. It's a quick play. It's a hard once per turn because it is it would be too strong if it wasn't. Target 1 Vullet monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, draw 2 cards. So this is basically a quick play version of Destiny Draw because that's fair. Oh, you want to cast out my Vullet Dragon? That's cool. I'll just chain this. I'll draw 2 cards. And during the end phase, I'll just go ahead and replace my guy anyways. And that's why I'm saying Supply Squad looks like it can be really good in this deck because imagine if you use the Squib Draw and you blow up one of your Vullets, you draw 2 cards, and then you get to draw an extra card from Supply Squad. And then your monster is going to replace itself anyways. Like, you basically, oh my god, that's so much deck thinning that this deck is actually going to have. So I don't know, guys. I really like the way that this archetype is going. I think that they're probably going to need another Link monster. I don't think that they can just have this one Revolver Dragon be everything. Like, if they get a Link 3 that also targets on your side of the field, I think that would be really good. Even if it isn't anywhere as powerful as like Revolver Dragon, even if it's only like a 2200 attacker or something like that, they probably are going to need like a Link 3. But what are you guys' first reactions and thoughts on Vullet Dragons? I think that they are very interesting. Kind of seems like Scrap 2.0. So let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.